We all know this object. A billiard ball. Hard, heavy, solid. An object that belongs on green felt amidst the laughter of friends in a bar, accompanied by music and clinking glasses. But in St. Petersburg, Florida, in February 2025, this object was found where it absolutely should not be. Not on a pool table, not in a drawer, but inside the mouth of a 16-year-old girl. Her name was Miranda Corsette. She was only 16 years old. She thought she was going on a romantic Valentine's Day date via a dating app. She thought she was meeting her Prince Charming. But who she met wasn't a prince. She met a pair of monsters who tortured her physically and psychologically for a full week, all over a cheap ring. And the method of murder? So strange, so specific, that even veteran forensic police had to pause to hold back nausea. Welcome to the Bone Library. Today we are dissecting the case of the billiard ball murder. Steel yourselves, because this story will make you want to delete every dating app on your phone. Right now. The year is 2025, an era where attention is just a thumb swipe away. For young people in America, connecting online isn't taboo anymore. It is a lifestyle. It's how they socialize. But there is one unwritten rule often forgotten. On the internet, no one is truly who they say they are. Miranda Corsette, a sweet student, full of life, an age where curiosity often outweighs logic, an age where validation from strangers feels like a drug. On her phone screen, Miranda saw a man's profile. His name was Stephen. He was much older, a significant age gap. By adult logic, this is a giant warning sign. Why is an older man looking for a young student? But in the psychology of manipulation, dangerous individuals know exactly what to say. They don't offer an equal relationship. They offer protection, maturity, and adventure. Stephen lived in St. Petersburg. He had his own house. He looked established. To a young girl who might have been looking for herself, he looked cool. February 14th, Valentine's Day, the day everyone wants to feel loved. Miranda decided to take the risk. She went to meet him. But there was one thing Miranda didn't know. Stephen wasn't alone in that house. There was another shadow waiting there. Her name was Michelle, Stephen's partner. Wait a minute. Why was his partner there? Did Miranda know? This is where the first layer of psychological fear lies. This wasn't just an affair. This was a calculated partnership. In criminology, this phenomenon is often called Folie à deux, a madness shared by two. Usually criminals act alone, but when a criminal has a partner who supports their fantasy, the danger level doesn't just double. It multiplies by 10, because they validate each other. Miranda walked into that house thinking she would be treated special. In reality, she had just stepped into a trap, locked from the outside. Miranda was reported missing by her family on February 24th. But police discovered a horrifying fact. Miranda had been at Stephen's house since February 14th. 10 days. What happened during those 10 days? At first, maybe everything seemed normal. Manipulation, love bombing. But then the mask fell off. The trigger? A trivial object. A ring. Stephen and Michelle accused Miranda of stealing their jewelry. Imagine the absurdity. They were two adult, 35 and 37 years old, facing off against one 16-year-old girl. Did they call the police? No. Did they call Miranda's parents? No. They decided to become judge, jury, and executioner. Florida court documents reveal details that make your skin crawl. For a full week, Miranda was held captive. She wasn't allowed to leave. Imagine Miranda's psychology at that moment. Day 1, fear, hoping it's a misunderstanding. Day 3, despair, realizing she might not make it out alive. Day 5, total psychological breakdown. Stephen Gress, in a confession leaked in police documents, admitted he beat Miranda every day. Every single day. Why? It wasn't just about the ring. In dark psychology, the object, the ring, is often just an excuse. The real motive is control. Stephen and Michelle enjoyed complete power over another human life. Seeing Miranda beg, cry, and suffer gave them a sick satisfaction, an intoxicating power trip. They didn't keep Miranda there to get the ring back. They kept her there because they could. And then came the time for the execution. The method they chose wasn't something you hear in typical crime news. Not a gunshot, not a stabbing. That would be too quick, too humane for them. Forensic police found evidence that Stephen and Michelle used a billiard ball. A standard billiard ball has a diameter of about 2.25 inches. Hard, uncompressible. Imagine an object that hard and that large, forced into a human oral cavity. Medically and forensically, this is a torture method designed to silence, literally. The ball blocked the airway. It blocked the screams. It forced the jaw open unnaturally to the breaking point. But that wasn't enough for them. After the ball was in, they wrapped Miranda's head in plastic wrap. This was a slow, agonizing death. Asphyxia. Miranda couldn't scream because of the ball. She couldn't breathe because of the plastic. She died in fear and total silence, surrounded by 2 people she met through a phone screen. And the craziest part? After her life slipped away, they didn't stop. They treated Miranda's body like garbage, dismembered, decapitated, and thrown into a dumpster in Pinellas County, as if she were just used goods that had served their purpose. When police finally arrested Stephen Gress and Michelle Brandes, the American public asked one thing: why? How could 2 normal human beings turn into monsters this sadistic in just 1 week? Let's dissect the psychology. First, the reversed bystander effect. Michelle Brandes. She was an adult woman. Her maternal instincts, or at least her human morals, should have kicked in seeing a teenage girl tortured by her boyfriend. But why did she stay silent? Why did she join in? In toxic killer couple relationships, there is often a dynamic of domination. Stephen was likely the narcissistic leader, and Michelle the dependent follower. Michelle might have feared Stephen, or worse, she feared losing him. So she was willing to do the most heinous things to prove her loyalty. A sick kind of love. Second, dehumanization. When they accused Miranda of stealing the ring, in their brains Miranda's status changed. She was no longer a 16-year-old girl. She was a thief. This label gave their brains moral permission to inflict violence. She deserves it because she was bad, they thought. It is a psychopath's defense mechanism to shut down guilt. And third, the latent danger of dating apps. The Miranda Corsette case is a harsh slap in the face for parents everywhere, not just in America. Dating apps don't have monster detectors. Behind a smiling profile picture, behind sweet words in a chat room, someone like Stephen Gress could be hiding. Predators today don't need to lurk in the playgrounds or schools. They can order their victims straight from their living room, just like ordering food on an app. And Miranda, she was just a victim of this easily exploited system. Miranda's body was found because Stephen Gress confessed. Yes, in interrogation, he told everything, including the billiard ball detail. Was it guilt finally kicking in? Or was he proud of what he did? Psychopaths often recount their crimes with a flat tone, as if describing how to make a sandwich. Now, Stephen and Michelle faced the threat of the death penalty in Florida. But what punishment is equal to the pain Miranda endured in the last week of her life? This case left a massive hole in the St. Petersburg community. A bloody warning about the dangers of trusting strangers in the digital age. Miranda Corsette looked for love on Valentine's Day. But what she got was the cruelest lesson on the dark side of humanity. So, next time you swipe right on your phone, next time you think about meeting a stranger who looks nice on an app, remember, Miranda, remember that billiard ball. Because in this world, monsters don't hide under the bed. They hide behind the "It's a match" notification on your phone.